The overall headline number is very strong, and as I said, much better than expected. How far does it go to calming fears that the consumer is going to collapse if we don't get another stimulus package right away?
It calms those fears, but it doesn't allay them completely, because the issue is we know that people saved a lot of money over the last couple of months. And so with the exception of kind of the very low income people who might not have been able to save, a lot of people who did save the money can put that money to work now and maybe for the next month. And that works as long as job growth continues. But if job growth begins to fade, the consumer could fade even more quickly.
You mentioned that high savings rate. I think it peaked above 33% back in April, thanks in part to the first stimulus. How much cushion is there left to get us through to potentially the next stimulus for consumers to feel okay and be able to spend?
I mean, that's the question is, how much do people want to be saving right now? How much of that saving is occurring because people don't fit or are not physically able to actually spend the money? Or how much of it is because people are worried about another round of lockdowns or something that might cost them their jobs? And so we don't know that breakdown. The only way we can guess at it is actually looking at things like consumer confidence, where it seems like people actually have a very high degree of confidence in the economy going forward. But once again, that ties back to job growth. If you don't continue to see very solid job gains month in, month out, the confidence isn't going to hold up, and the consumer is going to pull back on spending.
If we do see a decent-sized stimulus, Drew, at some point between now and the end of the year, how quickly could spending by consumers and in other areas pick up and inflation surprise us to the upside?
Well, I think it could happen very quickly. I mean, if we're thinking about the timing of this all, when is a therapeutic or a vaccine going to be available? If you layer in our second round of stimulus at the same time that something becomes available that allows people to return to a more normal life, then you could actually be stimulating the economy at exactly the wrong time. And of course, the Fed is on hold for quite some time. They don't want to be reaching in to try and contain inflation right now. And so the timing is actually very important here. Some people could definitely use the help. Help is usually warranted. But you have to watch that you're providing it in a way that's actually fast and will hit when you want it to hit, as opposed to hitting maybe with a delay that would actually come at the wrong time.
So are you saying that it's actually really important that the stimulus comes before the election in a targeted way versus after the election, where it could stoke inflation because it's coming at the same time as a vaccine? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's without regard to the election. You just want to make sure that if you think you need it, you should do it probably sooner rather than later. If you're not certain whether you need it, then you really need to think about how you tailor it so that if it comes at a time when people are able to get back into the economy the way that they want to, that it doesn't overwhelm the amount of supply that we have available to kind of meet the demand that would be coming from it.
Drew, as things stand, which of the metrics are you most concerned about in terms of losing their pace of recovery?
I'm most worried about the job numbers. We've seen that, we lost 22 million jobs, and next month we regained 3 million. And then the month after that, we gained 1 million. And that number keeps getting smaller and smaller. At its current pace, it would take more than a year to get the remaining jobs that were lost back. And so, more than a year is a pretty long period of time. And I don't think that consumer confidence is going to hold up for more than a year for those people who have been made unemployed by the COVID crisis.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.